Now, as for Kendrick Lamar, if you're as eager as I am to dive into what will soon be the next chapter of rap's greatest run and see how with Kendrick Lamar's latest verse, we are really getting to a point where it's impossible to compare him to any other MC because he is truly getting that great. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and as what we are about to see is really going to be the biggest moment in hip-hop since the Super Bowl, and it's truly a generational display like we only ever see a few times. Ever make sure to leave that like as right now with the king of hip-hop. Well, as Pusha T, Malice, and Pharrell were hosting a listening party for their new album for a big group of people to hear well clearly. Within this, they knew exactly what they were doing as by letting a large group of people in attendance actually record the record itself, including such people as fellow GNX feature AZ. Chike, well, really here the clips have set everything up to be absolutely viral, and of course they have achieved that so far as when they played the record and let everybody actually hear the song that they did with Kendrick Lamar called Chains and Whips, and didn't just play their parts but actually played some of Kendrick's verse. Well, really for Push Ayet and his entire team, they once again knew exactly what they were doing and how they were about to create another one of the genre-defining moments in this era in hip-hop. Because again, just by playing some of this record from Kendrick and letting people record it, and then of course having multiple clips go viral which have surfaced of Kendrick's feature. Well, now with this, which again, this isn't even the full song, this is just part of a verse. Well, in typical Kendrick Lamar fashion, he is doing something that nobody else could come close to, because with just a part of his feature here, well, with what we have heard from Kendrick, on top of the Pharrell production, and with this team up from one of the greatest rap duos ever in clips. Well, really, the rap world has absolutely lost it to what is easily one of the best verses we have heard in so long already, and now with this track and this entire moment, as the stakes have really never been higher. What we can say for sure after just hearing part of this verse from Kendrick is that he really was ready for this moment and understood the assignment, and some because truly from what we have heard with this entire track, Kendrick Lamar didn't just work on this record to make a moment or a single track, but to truly ingrain himself within a classic body of work that is going to stand for something so much bigger than just one rapper ever could. And now with all of this, what is more clear than ever, and what the conversation we need to now have is that truly with the level of skill that Kendrick Lamar has just displayed on the first half of this verse alone, what we can now say with more than certainty is that Kendrick is not just the best rapper out right now, but more than ever to see a guy who is at this point in his career getting this much better despite all of his success, and rapping to a level that both in terms of content and technical skill is just taking all the sliders that were already maxed out and maxing them out even more, and showing peak performances in both of the most important aspects of rap writing. I mean, really, this is just truly unheard of again, and even after everything that Kendrick Lamar has already paved the way for the fact that we are still getting more music and it is still getting better and more exciting. I mean, at this point, if you have been denying the run we have seen or only thought it was off the momentum of one thing, you can't be serious, because this is truly one of the most dominant periods of music that we have ever seen in the entire history of hip-hop for a single artist. And what's even more crazy about all of this is that now, as Kendrick Lamar did literally record this verse right around when the Drake beef actually happened, as this has literally been confirmed by Push, and they were not able to release this for so long. Well, truly, if this is what Kendrick was doing, then well, truly, as an entire hip-hop fandom, we should be scared to hear what Kendrick has to sound like next, because after all of the winning that he has done since the beef, now that we know that even before all of that, Kendrick was walking into this track with the same energy that somebody like Tupac had on Hit Up, but with the lyrical genius of something much more complex. Well, truly, with this combination of both passion and genius, Kendrick creates a performance here that already feels like an address that is essential for every single hip-hop fan to listen to. and is really a warning to everyone. And now within this warning, what Kendrick is letting everybody know, if they have not understood already, is that the DOT era is going on and clearly nobody is going to stop him. And now, in order to not just compete with Kendrick, but just to sustain any relevance in your career, Kendrick is pretty much letting rappers know what they are going to need to do to move forward if they want to exist in this genre is really with what Kendrick is doing and addressing in its entirety here. Well, from telling every single person that he does not mess with the Kumbaya stuff, which is a disc that can be applied to so many soft rappers out right now, from Drake and J. Cole to so many others to Kendrick. Then alluding to sending somebody back to the cosmics, which I wonder who that could be about. Well, really, with Kendrick Lamar coming off with a verse where he sounds more angry and mean than we have heard, I would really say since tracks like Control and Full Circle, enough his first collab with Push A in Nostalgia, well, really with that demeanor, the respect Kendrick commands here just goes up to an entire new level, especially when he says that hip-hop has been offed again, which is once again a clear statement that is adding to this major genre-spanning address that he is giving, and is just letting everybody know how messed up this thing they left it is. And then right after that bar, as Kendrick is saying that half of his profits go to Rakim, this may be my favorite bar on the track, because first off, what Kendrick is doing is seemingly saying that while rappers who ran things before he came back destroy the culture and the lineage of it, he owes so much to a rapper like Rakim, who paved the way for literally everybody today, and who specifically within the context of this track and the message with the use of Rakim, it seems like he is trying to reference something like the 2023 BET Awards, where one of the top 5, at the very least most important MCs ever, in terms of how they inspired everybody going after him, was just treated like a nobody, as the people there did not really get up and show any sort of passion for somebody the way they should have, of his stature. And now truly once again with Kendrick Lamar sticking up for a legend like this, we are really seeing how Kendrick and everything he is doing is standing up and trying to represent everything that has ever been important for the betterment in hip-hop, and really with the way that Kendrick is moving here and what he is trying to say. In the bigger picture of it all, he really does feel like he has every single legend's legacy in mind when he is rapping, and he is just trying to embody all of the great things that came before him, which is just so commendable in this era where especially people are trying to erase what the pioneers did. And now with Kendrick continuing to unravel these thoughts by saying how many Judases have let him down, and then telling us what he learned through these pivotal times and chapters in his career in both the Mr. Morale and GNX era. Well, first off, if we actually look at the lyrics, this is absolutely genius, because as the last bar mentions, Rakim calls him a prophet, and of course, Rakim is known as the God MC. Well, the clear wordplay that Kendrick has from the Rakim line to the Judas line is so genius, and with this really from the specific references and names that Kendrick is bringing up through this thing, to the point that he is making in the larger sense. Really, almost everything he is rapping about here feels like the most important rap address he has given, aside from whacked out murals, and truly with the way this verse is moving and the precedents that Kendrick is trying to set with the messaging. Well, if people have not felt it already, this really does feel like a turning point in rap, and like a verse where Kendrick is flexing his lyrical muscle more than we have ever seen. And now with Kendrick Lamar just talking like this when the stakes have been this high, and with him really trying to write the new rulebook for the dot era now, what we can also say about such a big thing that he is clearly trying to do here is that what the difference is between Kendrick or any other rapper in so long, and especially when we compare him to somebody like Drake when he thought he was in the lead, is that while any rapper and somebody like Drake would say anything and try to just push it off as what the status quo would be, well, now with how Kendrick Lamar is both delivering bars here and crafting rhyme schemes to actually send home the messaging as a whole, well, very different compared to a lot of these grifter rappers that have tried to run around over the last few years. These are not just loose thoughts or fragmented lines that are all thrown together, but they create this powerful picture of where the rap game is going, with Kendrick just being at the place he is at. And now, of course, what's really wild is that I am saying all of this, and again, we have only heard about half of the verse to what we know and don't even actually know what the whole thing is going to be like. But for Kendrick Lamar, with the way he is rapping here, which from a technical perspective, this verse is truly peak hip-hop, but with Kendrick Lamar really cementing himself as the best lyricist out right now, and it's not even close here, because seriously, taking things even further, when we look at what Kendrick actually did here, well, he designed this entire track and set things up to be a sequel to the first collab with Push A. He made in nostalgia, not just in terms of them being back together, but again, now with how the tracks mirror one another and, in all honesty, build on the lore of what they did. You actually see Kendrick's poetry just grow and blossom into something that is much more complex, yet it is still able to embody all of the reasons why he was one of the best rappers out back then. Because now when we go back to nostalgia and see that the entire scheme that Kendrick had was centered around the word 10. There, as Kendrick created the entire scheme on this track around the word Gen, well, I guess what we can say is that all the people who thought that Kendrick does not connect with Gen Z should feel like absolute clowns, but also thanks to them, I guess, because you did make Kendrick just unleash one of his most genius performances that we have seen on this entire run he has been on, and really now, to be honest, even just adding layers to layers that we have already seen. Well, for the clips as they premiered, so be it, on Funk Flex, and did a classic radio premiere, which was kind of like a throwback to their era. And then now fast forward to this, and we are seeing the Kendrick Lamar track here be premiered through social media snippets, which just made the timeline go crazy. Well, would that kind of be in a response to the narrative about Kendrick Lamar not having Gen Z respect him because he won over the one thing that they are all on? Well, really, even having this song be rolled out like this and this opening part come to the surface the way it did and build up even more hype than ever for all of Push and Malice, and what they are doing was truly genius. And really, with things from here, it's Kendrick Lamar and the clips demonstrate once more how they are the complete embodiment of everything significant and defining in hip-hop, past, present, and future. If this is what they want us to hear, then I am genuinely afraid of what will actually be on this album. As we all say, this is just half of a Kendrick verse to what we know truly. What we can say is that in every way conceivable, from the release to the actual song we have heard, to the anticipation and the hype that is being built up, it is more evident than ever that Kendrick Lamar simply has a pull and presence on the rap game that no other MC can even come close to. And just with this level of dominance still increasing more and more after all of this time, Kendrick Lamar is truly putting himself more and more in the spot of the greatest rapper ever. And it's getting to a point where, after hearing Kendrick just rap like the most competitive rapper and the most genius one, who can end anybody's career while dropping the most groundbreaking thing from a technical perspective as well. I mean, just seeing a rapper again turn all the sliders up at once and just operate on the highest level, it is truly peak and honestly unheard of. And now, as again, this is just half of a verse, well, I got nothing to say aside from the simple idea that, again, if this is what Pharrell, Push, and Malice wanted to show us, I think the rest of the rap game should be ready, because if this is what Kendrick Lamar's verse is, and it's not even the best part, I truly don't know what can come. But what I do know for sure is that it's about to be classic and peak hip-hop at its finest. And now, with all of this said, let me know, what do you think of what we have heard now with the Kendrick Lamar verse from this new clip song, and which sentences are your favorites? What aspects of it do you like best? And how do you anticipate all of this to affect things in the long run? I'm eager to hear your thoughts on all of this. So if you watch the entire video, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. This will help me a lot if you'd like to see how Cliffs and Kendrick are doing in the lead up to this. This could become crucial as the rollout draws near again. This guy is in line with Kendrick and Push in the entire movement they're trying to make, and Jay-Z is hinting that he might be releasing a whole new album soon, and he might even perform it